So I'd like to ask a couple of questions, if I may, and hopefully start the conversation rolling from there on in. So to start off with, please give us some context into what Netball WA does and the overall employee landscape in your organisation.
Yeah, certainly. We actually are 3 organisations big as far as what we manage from an operational perspective. So we've got 3 entities, being West Coast Fever, Glassjar Australia and Netball WA. Across those 3 entities, we run around 140 staff. We are now a little bit more. So there's some segregation of that as well for us, and slightly different treatments of staff. And that's all done through Infinite Cloud Payroll on NetSuite. We've been on NetSuite for about 3 years. And prior to me, I've been here about 18 months. So NetSuite and all of these products were new to me as well. So that's pretty much where we sit.
Yeah, fantastic. So how are you using the Elmo solution and NetSuite across the Netball WA organisation, especially across the 3 subsidiaries?
Elmo, we only last year upgraded. So Gary Chandler, People and Culture Manager, deals with most of that. And we upgraded last year to have all of the learning modules as well. So also we had learning modules and we added on the onboarding process as well last year. So that's developed quite a lot in the last 6 months. There's still work to be done with workflows and things like that as people get to know that. But that's been a huge step up for us as far as the onboarding process and the integration, with the external providers, for advertising and all that sort of thing. So it's streamlined a whole lot for us with that number of staff. And we get by with a very small amount of HR staff, actually. So it really enhances, the fact that we're not people heavy. We've got that technology, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So how was it prior to having Elmo in the organisation?
Yes. It was, I think the HR staff were very time poor. From what I understand, because they really had started to get into this space when I got here, it was somewhat disorganised. There was a lot of old documentation being used and that sort of thing. So it actually has just helped them to plan better, structure process improvements as well, continuous improvement and integrate that. So it wasn't that well organised, no.
I could imagine when you'd have a new employee come on board and then you'd have to work out, okay, have we managed to fill out all the forms? Have they been onboarded? Yeah. And how do we put them into NetSuite and make sure they get paid? And so how was that? That would have been all manual, right?
Yeah, it was manual, and particularly, having payroll in a separate system and done by a separate lot of people, you had to have that handover, which wasn't always seamless, that's for sure. One of the things is I think organisations get away with, as they are planning for growth strategically, is that they don't consider the software element, because when you're just doing one staff member, for example, in either payroll or, onboarding occasionally once a month, then you feel like you can take all that time. But what happened here was we had sudden growth. We knew, they knew it was coming, but it was also very quick. They ended up with 20 new staff in a year. And it suddenly became, that was 2019, and it has continued since then. So it became, really important that they could actually, make this process not just fast and easy, but the accuracy was the biggest issue. Hence, we arrived at the point of getting some integration this year between the 2.
Yeah, fantastic. And that integration using the connector that we built, how was that for you? Like, obviously, it now connects whenever you're onboarding an employee in Elmo, and then having that flow through into NetSuite. How is that all coming along now with the integration?
Yeah, that will, the accuracy side of that will be important to us. So it means that the information that the new staff member is providing as they're onboarded is verified by them, and instead of a second set of hands on that, where you can actually have errors, it just means that that's coming straight from employee virtually into the Elmo system and then on into NetSuite. So for us, accuracy was number 1 in that. And yes, certainly we have time savings, with that as well. And it's not to say it's a complete solution. We've got other information we add, obviously, to that employee in NetSuite. But what we took was the things that we felt were critical, and we could build on that from this point too, if we wanted to.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's thank you. We've obviously spent a fair bit of time together now on the integration side, as well as a bit of time on helping the organisation, manage and improve the way you're utilising technology. So I really appreciate the partnership that we have, Lisa. So thank you for making the time today. And